Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where today we're taking a look at a very new, very hot, and very unexpected knife that has come out under $100. This is an exclusive from White Mountain Knives. This is the Artisan Cutlery Small Arion. Now, before I go any further into this review, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you like what you see, please do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, follow along, and I will continue to bring you the content. Now, let's take a look at some overall specs on this knife right here. We have an overall length of 7 inches, with a blade length coming in at 3 inches, a cutting edge at 2.95 inches, with a blade width of 1.08 inches. This blade thickness is 0.13 inches. Blade material is CJRB/Artisan Cutlery's very own AR RPM9 steel. We have a very sleek spear point blade style with a flat grind, a handle length coming in at 4 inches with a handle thickness coming in at 0.39 inches. So a nice slim little carry. We have a handle width of 0.83 inches with some pretty nice micarta. We'll touch a little more on that when we get to the handle. Liner locking mechanism, as well as a user of right hand only tip up carry. Total weight on this guy is 2.6 ounces with a price of $74.99. So let that soak in while we talk about this, and I'll hit on that at the end. This is designed by Cerberus Knives in collaboration with Artisan Cutlery. And originally, this was a much bigger knife, or, well, a bigger knife. It was, I believe, a 3.5, 3.6 inch blade, maybe even a little bigger. To be honest, I haven't handled the original Arion, the full-size Arion. This is the small one, and the first time I've experienced it. So, very, very interesting knife. Let's take a look at some size comparisons and see just what we're working with here. We'll start off with a very good measuring point, that being the Civivi Elementum, as well as another popular budget knife, the QSP Penguin. So as you can see, I think this probably does it for a lot of people. You know, I think nowadays a 3-inch blade is so standard, everyone has a great idea of the size of a knife, but it always helps to have two that so many people know. So as you can see, very, very nice, friendly EDC size. And one more round of comparisons. This one, we're going to stay within the CJRB family. We have the CJRB Rhea, one of my favorite budget knives of all time, as well as the CJRB Small Feldspar. As you can see, more really good size comparisons right there. I think that eliminates any question from anyone on just the size of this knife. Now, let's talk about this blade. When I saw the original Arion get released, when was it? Earlier this year, I believe. The blade was very interesting to me because at first, I wasn't quite digging it. But the more I saw it, the more I saw people kind of fidget with it and use it, it looked like a pretty nice blade. And I gotta say, this blade is not disappointing. It's actually very pointing, if you get what I'm saying. A very sleek and pointy spear point, nice sturdy tip, doesn't get too thin down there, allow you to do some pretty good work with it, and a nice shallow belly, not too much belly. It's almost like the belly of like a sheep's foot, or maybe even a modified Warncliffe, but nonetheless, a little belly with an edge reading of 21,000. So it's not exactly a slicing beast, but you would be surprised. This blade, I don't really have much issue with this blade at all, really. A thinner grind is always nicer. I mean, like I said, for me, that sweet spot is 15 to 16 thousandths. I love the sliceability, sliciness at 15, 16 thousandths. You can always get thinner, but then, then you start to, lose a little strength behind that edge. So, regardless, it's a good blade, a very effective blade. Also, some very effective jimping on the spine here that feels really good and is really in just the right spot. They didn't put too little or too much. I really like this jimping placement here, and I really like how it feels on my thumb. It is kind of awkward branding on the blade. Is it just me, or does anyone else constantly see the New York Giants logo when they look at Artisan Cutlery's logo? I mean, and it's not a knock. Maybe if you're an Eagles fan, it's a knock. But I I don't have any issue with the Giants. I'm a suffering Bears fan, so let me be there. But I don't have an issue with the logo. It just, I always see New York Giants, and I don't know how much I really like it there. But I also don't hate it as much as I originally thought I would. When you have it closed, it oddly looks kind of nice. I don't know why. I think it's because it's really like parallel. It's flush with the handle. I don't know. It has, it's just very weird, very different. So that took a little getting used to, but once I got used to it, it's kind of whatever. Like I said, though, awkward is the best word. I wouldn't call it bad, just awkward. On the clip side, you have more branding, which is the Cerberus Knives logo, which I think is pretty cool. I love Maker's Marks. I like what they stand for. Obviously, they're promoting the actual designer. I think that's really important. It helps them stand out. So that's pretty cool. And especially when it's on the clip side, it's kind of just something you accept. I don't necessarily I like the steel marking. I just kind of wish the steel marking was back here and the serial number. I don't know. I mean, again, we're kind of nitpicking, but it's just in a place to where there's not a lot of billboarding room on this blade. So you got to be real selective of the placement. And again, since they're so limited, I can't say it was a bad idea, because they didn't really have a lot of other options. So it just kind of is what it is. But I guess worth pointing out, blade branding has always been something I've pointed out on the channel in the past. So I thought, you know what, why stop now? Definitely worth talking about. As for this blade cutout here, that's a huge yes. Very, very big yes. We will talk more about that when we get to the action, but yeah, that's a job well done right there. Now let's get into the handle and Ergos. The Ergos they're good. The Ergos, this is one of the very few knives where the Ergos are about how I expected them to be, and they're good. They're very good. They're not the best. I wouldn't necessarily call them hand-hugging, but I like them. It feels good. It just feels good. Just long enough for a nice full 4-finger grip. Decent micarta on this guy. I think this is definitely a micarta that is going to get only better with carry, and it's actually gotten better since I've carried this. I've carried this now for we're going on a day and a half, so I haven't really had this super long term, but as we get through this review, you guys will see I did kind of push this one to the front of the line because there's just some things that I really thought everyone should know about, and the fact that it is an exclusive, there's only one place to get it, and I have a feeling these won't be around for very, very long. But yes, the micarta has already worn in pretty good. I've used this guy a good amount, and I've just been fishing with it a lot, holding it in my hand. It carries fantastically in the pocket. Obviously not a real long, wide, or just big knife in general. Really nice pocket clip. It's a perfect pocket clip. It is another prime example of a perfect pocket clip on kind of the budget side. You have the recessed clip and screws, really no hot spots whatsoever. I'm really happy they flattened this out right here and didn't just leave the ramp sticking straight up. So that makes a huge difference in your hand right there, that flat spot. Like that, a whole lot. Perfect tension, really easy in and out of the pocket, and isn't going to go anywhere. You don't got to worry about it falling out of your pocket. And this stone-washed clip, thank you, Artisan Cutlery and White Mountain Knives. This needs to be seen on many, many more knives. So many of them have the satin clip, and I don't necessarily hate it, but I don't like the noise that a satin clip brings to your pocket. You don't want to have the light hit it and just shine and reflect by the pocket where your knife is. I love the stonewash look on a clip, and it's an extra step. They got to throw them through a tumbler or do whatever they do. I'm glad they did it because it looks really good, and it's just a little quieter in the pocket because of that. So very good job there. And lastly, on these handles, you have really good access to the liner lock. It's not a whole lot, but it's just enough, and as you can see, shuts pretty darn easily. It's got just enough of that round edge there to where it's not real. It's hidden pretty well. It doesn't stick out, and it doesn't some like big liner locks, I feel like the access to the liner lock is too loud and it kind of takes away from the handle almost, which can be kind of annoying. This is nice and subtle, but also very easy to get in and close that blade up. Now, let's talk about the best part of this knife. It is the action. There's a lot of good things about this knife, including just the overall profile and aesthetics are so good. But this action, by far the best part of this knife. You guys, you know I love middle finger flicking, and this middle finger flicking action, it doesn't get much better on a knife under $100. The detent is so crisp. I just recording this now and listening to it and watching it through the other end of my camera or my phone, I don't think it's doing it justice, because it looks like it's coming out even faster in person. Deployment is so crisp. Listen to this detent. Listen to it close. It is on point. Fantastic detent. The cutout here, let's get into it, because it's a long cutout. But you know what? You can flick it real close in. It's a little harder because you're closer to the pivot, but you can make the close to the inside work as well as all the way on the outside. Flips out just fine. Obviously, for balancing purposes, it is best, I think, right in the middle. But the point of this is it doesn't matter where you put your finger in this hole. You're going to be able to flick it out pretty easily. Really nicely done. There was a lot of attention. They did a lot of really good chamfering along this hole, but not too much. Enough to where I still feel like, even, guys, I'm a fingernail biter. I'm constantly biting my fingernails. These are actually in really good shape right now, but sometimes I can really struggle to get because you do need your fingernail on this, I think. The cutout is kind of close to the handle, so it does work best if you can get your actual fingernail in there and not just like kind of the meat of your finger. You really need your nail. But whoa, when you get in there, it is such a fun deployment. Super fidgety knife for just a middle finger flicking knife. I am a huge fan of this. In all honesty, some of the best middle finger flicking action on a knife under $100 you can find anywhere. It is absolutely fantastic. And the closing action, as you can see, also really good and rather smooth. Not super smooth, but again, you're talking a $75 knife. Really good for $75. Overall thoughts on this guy is very clear to me. It's a home run. It's a home run, and it's kind of tempting me to check out the full-size Arion now, because it's got to be good, right? I mean, it has to be. But I really like this small model. Absolutely fantastic exclusive by White Mountain Knives. I'm kind of surprised it's an exclusive just to White Mountain Knives. I would think that Artisan Cutlery would have been all over this, just making it, just a homestay for all retailers. But I'm glad White Mountain Knives has it, because they're a great retailer. I've bought a lot through them. They've even helped the channel out once before in the past, so it's a great place. If you're not checking out White Mountain Knives, go check them out. I'm going to link this knife below. As of right now, I'm not partnered with them. I have made some attempts. We'll see where it goes, but regardless, they're a pretty darn cool retailer, and they're the only ones carrying this, guys. So if you want this, you got to go there. The link's going to be in the video below, in the description of the video below. Go check it out. I have a feeling these are not going to last long. For $75, you're getting a fun, fidgety, pretty darn good quality knife. So I think once the word gets out on these, they're gonna be gone pretty quick. Hopefully they bring them back, but you never know. And if they do, it's gonna take a while to get more in. So go check them out. The small Arion White Mountain Knives exclusive. Let me know what you guys think of this. If you tried the full size, if you like the full size, or even tried it, let me know your thoughts, because I'm really interested in that one as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And until the next one, I'm out.